Good morning, g'day, good afternoon, how you going? It's Roger Roadside here saying hello. Hello. You can't see the lady behind me, but it'd be a struggle for you to see her behind me, but I'm just looking in my rearview mirror, and I kid you not, I can just see the bridge of her nose peering up above the parapet of the vehicle. Weird. Listen, Roger Roadside here saying hello, and I just wanted to check in. Happy Monday morning. Look, we've got another beautiful, glorious Monday morning in the UK. Isn't it filled with such joy? The people are just skipping down the street, just in sheer joy. Everyone is just can't believe their shitting luck. We live and we occupy and we breathe and we eat and we feast here in the land of England. And isn't it plentiful, and isn't it bountiful, and isn't it just a joyous time to be alive? I'm going to try and squeeze in here before that's a cheeky bus lane there. Listen, I've just got one simple question to pose this morning, and it comes off the back of the Keir Starmer, the original dialect in the Doctor Who series. Comes off him blocking the Andy Burnham charge, should we say. I just think I do think it's funny. I do think it's something whereby there are times where I feel a bit sorry for the Keir Starmer, because I kind of feel like he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. If he was to take him on head first, I think he knows that he would quite swiftly lose his position and lose his seat and lose his role of Prime Minister, which I don't think he's really ever worked out what that is and how to do it properly, but still. But then obviously if he goes down the line that he's doing now, he's being portrayed even further as someone who is weak and spineless, and whenever anyone disagrees with you or challenges you, you just shut them down, and that in itself is not necessarily a good world to live in. I mean, and look, don't get me wrong, right? Trump has done some really weird stuff over the last 48 to 72 hours, probably over the last week or so. He's definitely done some weird stuff. Why he came out and said that NATO soldiers didn't fight, I have no idea. I don't know where that came from. I don't know what he was trying to achieve by that. Like I've said all along, there are definitely some things that he does that I like, and there's some things that he does that I don't like. However, that being said, one of the things that he gets, definitely spoken about, and definitely is a pulling point for him, is he's a bit of a dictator, and it's sort of his way or the highway, or if so on and so forth. And then we look at Keir Starmer and what he's done to Andy Burnham's potential challenge for the title, and it being just initially shot down and stuff like that. I mean, how does that differ to Trump? That's very Trump-esque, don't you think? But I don't feel like we're getting that sort of angle come out in the press. So I just thought that's interesting. But I guess I think I started this question about 10 minutes ago, which is very dramatic, I know, because we're only 4 minutes in. But is Keir Starmer a dead man walking? Has he literally got one foot in the grave? And look, in most circumstances, I would never champion, or I would never relish someone losing their job. Even if it's a situation where they were no good at their job. Even if it was a situation whereby they clearly underperformed and they clearly had no idea about what they were doing. Again, at the end of the day, if they lost their job, I wouldn't be that type of person that would be like, oh my God, yes, we finally got rid of him. But in some respects, I would not lose an inch of sleep when it comes to the Keir Starmer, only because I know that, you know, even when he does get overthrown, and he will get overthrown in my opinion, he's going to go off somewhere, maybe Davos. You know, I think he's pulled so many favours, and he's entrenched himself so much in the cronies that are, you know, within his immediate circles and stuff like that, that he'll by no means probably end up making, you know, 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times the amount of money, probably even 10 times the amount of money that he's making at the moment. So as far as, you know, losing the job and going off to greener pastures, I think that would definitely be the case with Keir Starmer. So in that respect, I'm not necessarily going to lose too much sleep over that. And yeah, but look, even if it was Andy Burnham, like it's not looking like it's going to be Andy Burnham now, and so that looks like the only, you know, potential outcome is either Wes Treating, who, I don't know, he's not necessarily my cup of tea, but you know, is he better than Keir Starmer? Probably. Or Angela Rayner. It's Angela Rayner. I grew up and I come from the bottom and now I'm at the top. I don't know what I'm doing. I've been kicked out of financial services jobs before in the past, and I said I was there longer than what I was, but you know, but then you know, I'm a woman and I come from the bottom. So now I was, well, not now, but I was in a very high power position. That's my Angela Rayner impression, just in case you missed it. I think it was pretty spot on and accurate. I don't know where I was really going with it. I was just spitballing. But yeah, look, Angela Rayner might be the second person that could be taking over the role, which could be a massive turnaround, an absolute massive turnaround. But yeah, look, I wanted to get your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you think Keir Starmer is a dead man walking? Do you think he's at most got 3 months, you know, left? I think if anyone could have their way right now, he'd probably be out of the way, you know, within a matter of minutes. But if you want to ask my opinion, and for what it's worth, I think he'll be thrown out within the next 3 months. I think that Wes Treating will take over, and I think that those within the Labour government probably know now, and they probably have for quite some time, that there's no candidates out there that are going to save this disaster that Labour have got themselves into. So I think Wes Treating will be someone that can, you know, provide a little mini bounce after the change. But at the end of the day, I think people, you know, when it does come to voting with their feet again, I think Labour have definitely done the dash, and there's no saving it. So I think, but potentially, if you were organising this for the long term, would you try to keep someone like Andy Burnham at bay until, you know, do something like the Conservatives have done, where you know, maybe Kemi Badenoch is not, you know, the right person at the moment, but she's someone who is, you know, mending, you know, even though it's quite slowly, but mending those bridges. And then, you know, once enough time has settled and enough time has passed, then do you sub her off for the person that you think is going to seal the deal and get you back into power? You know, is that potentially happening with Labour? You know, if they put Andy Burnham back in now, he's going to probably, you know, there's probably too much ground that Labour have lost for him to make up in, you know, even 18 months to 2 years. You know, maybe even 3 years. Too much ground. So anyway, long story short, Do you think Keir Starmer is dead man walking? Who do you think is going to be his replacement if he is going to go? I'd love to hear it in the comments. Make sure you get your comments down below. Please subscribe if you're so willing. All you need to do is literally press a button. That's it. Press a button. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost me anything other than my livelihood. It just means that my kids can eat, really. I say kids. I've only got one, but I guess maybe my partner I can claim. Anyway, I've got a phone call coming through. This is Roger Roadside signing out saying ciao for now.